now we have our second speaker for the affirmative.
Now, I'd just like to clarify, the definition of the Messiah is someone who's anointed, someone who is destined, you could put it, for greatness. I hardly think that it's really fair to judge someone on whether they are destined for greatness after they've achieved greatness. That's denying the entire scientific method. Anyway, it is pretty obvious that Kevin Rudd is doing great things at the moment. In fact, he's the Liberal... No, let me think. He is the Labor leader at the moment who's got the best chance of beating Howard in the entire history of Howard's sort of reign of terror, if you like to call it that way. It's obvious that he's not the Messiah in the way that the other team seems to be taking the term, in that referring to Jesus Christ. Well, it's fairly obvious that he's not the Messiah in that way. When the Messiah returns, every knee shall bow and declare him Lord. And it's fairly obvious that I can't see Peter Costello ever bowing to Kevin Rudd. At the same time, there are many people who have been referred to as messiahs. There's Gus Hiddink, there's many others who have just been given that term. It's a term that's used very widely, and so we would have to argue that at the moment, Kevin Rudd is the new Messiah.
Thank you. And now our final speaker for the opposing team and the atheists. Just before your first atheist speaker mentioned that there was no belief in God. Can you clear up for us, is it part of an atheist belief that there is no God, or is it a lack of beliefs?
Atheism is really a lack of belief. You can positively believe that there is no God, but that's a subset of atheism. Atheism itself encompasses people who believe that it is best to withhold judgment until the evidence is there.
Okay, no worries. All right, cheers for clearing that up. On with your proposal.
The affirmative seems to have been saying quite a lot that the anointed one, the Messiah, means that someone is destined for greatness. To turn their own arguments against them, in the Bible, it is said that Jesus said, "Whoever is great among you must serve." That is supposed to have meant that those who are great in the world aren't the leaders, but the people who do the things for who serve others. Kevin Rudd is the leader of the Labour Party. He is not part of the rank and file, and therefore he is not a servant. He is the one who commands people to do great deeds around the place. He doesn't actually do the things himself, for one. Therefore, destined for greatness doesn't exactly apply to Kevin Rudd in this sense, because if you take the Evangelical Union's own beliefs against them, that Kevin Rudd cannot be counted as the Messiah. Another, to reiterate Ash's point before, we also believe that Kevin Rudd isn't the new Messiah because, frankly, we don't believe there was an old one. A Messiah is supposed to be one who saves something, like the Messiah in the football sense, one who brings them to victory against unimaginable odds. Kevin Rudd is not a miracle worker, and after however many years it's been since Paul Keating left office, that John Howard has had his reign of terror, as it was described, it could be reasonably argued that some things in Australia are pretty much beyond saving. In his Australia Day address, Kevin Rudd himself said that he believes very strongly in further funding for universities. I note that he didn't say he wants to go back to the Whitlam government's thing of fully funded universities, simply, and I would assert that this would be probably because it's not feasible at this point. There are some things which are beyond saving, and you can't be a messiah of something you haven't exactly won. He doesn't claim divinity, for another point. Kevin Rudd is a great man, a great politician. He has great plans for the future, but he hasn't saved anyone. He hasn't preached religious gospel. He is staunch Anglican, But he is very hot on keeping the Australian government secular. He wants the Christians to have a voice, but he wants them to be considered alongside every other viewpoint. He isn't championing one particular cause, except the cause of, wouldn't it be nice if everyone was nice?
2-minute warning there.
Oh, and
you got another minute if you want it.
So really, Kevin Rudd can't be called the new Messiah for a number of reasons. Simply, one, no Messiah. Two, he's not the champion of any one particular religious cause. He can't be called it in the religious sense. Whoever is great among you must serve is the Bible's own definition on greatness, so he can't be really destined for greatness if he is a leader by that particular definition. So, in conclusion, Kevin Rudd is not the new Messiah, however great a man he may be.
Thanks very much, guys. Now what are we doing, Daniel? Are you voting on which one we thought was the most convincing?
Yeah, we're going to have a 3 points decision. So, Will?
Okay. Now, you both had very convincing arguments. The question itself is not the most easy question to answer. I don't particularly believe in the affirmative. I thought that was my personal before the debate started. And I have to say that after the debate, my opinion hasn't changed. And that Kevin Rudd, although, you know, he's pretty good and all, but he's no Messiah. And what do you think, James?
Well, at the end of the day, everyone's a winner, really, but in a more literal sense of the word, I'm going for the atheist group.
Alright, so it's come down to this, has it? Alright, well, I think for a slightly better performed argument, and a great Gus Hoodie reference in there, go with the EU. Congratulations, apparently Kevin Rudd is the new Messiah.
It's 2-1.
I thought you both, but I thought you did a split decision. Alright, atheist wins. I'm overruling.
He was going for a big suspense for the finish, but it was already done.
How about we put in a song for the EU then? This one's called The Prayer.